My journey begins in Thunder Bay, Ontario, overlooking the sleeping giant, or, as the Anishinaabe Nation calls it, Nanabijou. Thunder Bay has one of the largest concentrations of First Nations in all of Canada. We are also a community built historically on the fur trade and forest industries. You would think that this has created a more inviting and progressive environment. There have been many strides forward, but I grew up surrounded by a colonial attitude towards First Nations. I moved away to school. Many of my friends thought I couldn't understand the conflicts between other minorities and white people. To them, Thunder Bay is a white, monocultural society. I had to explain that Thunder Bay has a major problem. This problem is racism. First Nations are continually labeled as drunks, druggies, associated with welfare, bingo, and unemployment. Continual complaints from white hunters and fishermen about First Nations netting fish and depleting resources, taking away from the hard-working majority. Having these experiences, I was struck by a statement made by one of our community teachers on the Canadian government's healing strategy with Aboriginal peoples. Her comment was that healing cannot begin while the victim is still being victimized. I realized how true that statement really was. The government still has no mandate to discuss Aboriginal rights to fisheries in Atlantic Canada, even though it's been over 10 years since the Marshall decision. In the past 20 years, the Oka and Burnt Church crises have occurred, displaying the marginalization and blatant abuse of First Nations by our government. Although this is all very negative, one resounding theme throughout this course was one of hope. Traveling through Mi'kma'ki and speaking to Mi'kmaq people and elders, I cannot believe their outstanding positivity and resilience in the face of current oppressions. Not only their acceptance of 11 outsiders, hoping to gain a better understanding of their culture, but also their welcoming spirits, allowing us into their lives and homes. I believe that the rest of Canada has a great deal to learn from the Mi'kmaq and other Aboriginal Canadians. The medicine wheel and the 4 directions demonstrate how a balanced society should work, and how we all must look inside of ourselves to connect to our mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical elements, to work collaboratively with one another, to move forward to secure a better future for the next 7 generations.
Chihuahua.